Short story long.
Welcome.
It could take your whole life.
Preach.
Develop clarity.
Second, patience.
If it scared you, you should probably do it.
Whatever you think you don't have, you have something else in its place.
Listen. Short story long.
Go, Woody, go.
Preach. Listen.
Welcome.
All right, welcome to the pod, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's how we start. I'll give you a nice intro in the beginning.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Also, it hasn't started yet.
No, this is it.
Oh, yeah, okay, it has.
We're on. Yeah. I'll give you after you leave, I'll give you a nice thoughtful intro.
Okay.
But then when you get here, we just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So we met briefly at the Young and Reckless Live event.
Mm-hmm.
Chatted for a minute, but I've seen your stuff just in the internet land. You know what I mean? A lot of these prank videos that you've done have went massively massive.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to really understand how you even become that, what your story was getting there. I'm fascinated by this whole new generation of creators and creatives and business people like you that have really created this whole lane for themselves. I think in the beginning it was whatever, influencers, YouTube, social media is not serious.
Right.
And now it's you have Will Smith trying to figure out how to be an influencer, right?
Yep.
And it really has changed. And I think I'm guessing the conversations you've been having have probably changed massively since the beginning. But that's what I really want to understand. I'm kind of from the old school TV world, and I want to get some tips on what's going on YouTube and all that stuff, but just more understand how you got here. So
For sure.
thanks for coming and sharing, man.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So where did this all begin? Where were you born and raised? What was childhood like? Were you always a creator? Did you have a camera at an early age? Paint that picture for me.
I was watching an interview with Jim Carrey, and he was talking about how from the beginning, he used to sleep with tap dancing shoes when he was 7.
Yeah.
And he would wake up at midnight and go into his parents' room and tap dance to make him laugh.
Yeah.
I wasn't that person. I was naturally an introvert, not very popular, not funny, not even good looking to be entirely honest.
Yeah.
But as far as my story goes, I moved to America at the age of 15 from Persia in 2007.
So do you remember that move? Do you remember coming here and being like, what the fuck?
Absolutely. I have a couple funny memories. The first one is leaving LAX when I got picked up by my uncle. I remember just looking at these tall buildings. I'd never seen buildings that tall before. And I was so overwhelmed. That's my first funny memory. Second funny memory is seeing people from all races.
Yeah.
I had not seen any other race but Persians. So seeing Asians, black people for the first time.
Yeah.
It was very overwhelming.
You had never seen a black person or an Asian person?
No.
That's wild. Because for me, I came from Ohio, which is kind of like a foreign country, but I had seen all different races, but I do distinctly remember moving here and being like, oh my gosh, it's equal everyone. You know what I mean? There's an equal amount of everyone.
It's like a pot.
Yeah, and it felt like I was in some foreign land or something because I didn't realize how it's just mostly all white people, walking around suburban Ohio.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can relate.
So I moved here at the age of 15 in 2007, didn't speak a word of English. I was brand new, and the hardest thing was that I moved here a month before high school started.
Sheesh.
So, I moved here, I have no idea how to dress. I can't talk to save my own ass.
Yeah.
Can I cuss, by the way?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yes.
All the words.
And I remember it was just so hard at the beginning to get used to everything. Moving forward 4 years in high school, when high school ended, is when I had just gotten used to high school.
Yeah.
I had just learned how to skate, how to dress properly. I made a couple of cool friends. And here we are, high school's ending. So I was like, holy crap, I'm watching my friends go to these fancy colleges with scholarships or have really good jobs with their managers and whatnot. And I'm sitting there by the way, I barely graduated. I went to a continuation school called Creekside, which is basically, it's attached to a police station. It's surrounded by fences, and it's where all the local high schools in my county send all their bad kids that have been expelled, kicked out to that school. I was not a school person. I hated studying. I was a hard worker as far as putting work into things I did, like wrestling, learning how to skate, learning English. It took me a year and a half to learn English and 2 years to lose the accent. I just didn't like the idea of going to school.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, let's do it. I talk a lot, by the way.
No, I like it.
So
I'm just going to chop you in where
Yes.
So what was why did your parents move here?
Good question. So we had actually applied to move to America when I was a year old. My whole family the way Persia works right now, for the past 40 years, it's been an Islamic government, but for hundreds of years before that, it's been a kingdom. Yep. So it was a kingdom up until 40 years ago. So when that happened, my whole family, things went south. My mom's side was in the military. My mom's father, my grandpa was a general. Yeah. So when all that happened, it was a mess. So everyone started moving here slowly with opportunities they had. Yeah. Some people left the country without any money. Some people ran away. Some people waited years. My uncle who had moved here 30 years ago, he had applied for visas for my family. Yeah. And that happened when I was a year old, and we got a call when I was 15 years old. God. So we were in line waiting for 14 years. So when the call finally came in, my family just dropped everything, sold everything for cheap, just so we can move here. Yeah. But why did we do it? Just because it's the land of opportunity, man.
That's so huge.
It's way different in other countries. You can't just pick up a camera, make a funny video, and be a YouTuber. You can't just chase your dreams. There's a lot of friction along the way. Yeah. So very, very blessed to have moved here.
That's one thing I've gotten very grateful for from doing these interviews is that perspective, because people are complaining a lot right now about America and about politics and about I'm going to move and I'm going to move, and when you talk to people that have that background, it's like, damn it, man, everyone in the world is dying to come here.
Yep.
And are picking up their families and leaving everything just for the opportunity to maybe live here and maybe get a shot at the American dream. And I don't know, it just puts it in a good perspective. Because sure, there's a lot to complain about and there's a lot of bullshit on TV, but man, that's a whole different thing. I want to ask you this too. Do you remember, since you were 15, do you remember the feeling packing up and moving? Were you anxious? Were you excited? Because
so excited.
Yeah, because for me, just to tie it into my experience, like I said, I can relate to how you felt when you moved here, me moving here from Ohio. When I got here, I was scared shitless.
How old were you?
I was 18.
That's probably why. You were already almost an adult, so you were aware of bills and all that. I was a kid.
Exactly, but you didn't even speak English. You didn't, there's all these different things. It's only
I played GTA, though, so I knew a little bit about America. I played GTA,
Yeah. So what was that feeling? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
1,000% excitement. It was people say, look, I'm excited for my new chapter. For me, it wasn't even a new chapter. It was a new book.
Yeah.
I was just so excited. For this kid who lives in a small town, to tell his friends I'm going to America, bro, it's like saying I just won the lottery.
Yeah.
I just won $1 billion in cash. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I was super stoked. Obviously, when I landed, that's when it hit me. Yo, I can't speak. I can't make friends. Yeah. Even if I could speak, the way you approach people in Persia to make friends is way different here. In Persia, if you're walking the streets and you stare at people, it's a normal thing. You're saying, I'm aware of your presence. I respect you. Almost like saying hi. Wow. Here you stare, you get punched in the face. I want to fight. Yeah. You don't just go up to people and try and befriend them right away. There's a little bit of a barrier here. Plus, I was from a smaller town as well.
So then, what about when you got into high school? You can't speak English. You're staring at people, and it's not going well. Did you have this? I just don't know how you did that. Did you have this feeling of being overwhelmed, or?
Okay, look, if I told you that there was times where I would cry myself to sleep, I would not be lying.
Yeah.
First of all, for some reason, my dad thought it was a good idea. So my dad is not a risk taker. He's not an entrepreneur. He hates risks. And so when we moved here, he wanted to have a safety net. So this guy sells everything he owns, leaves the money with his brother, and moves us to America with 20 grand in his pocket.
Yeah.
So we moved here clueless as to what we're doing. He got a job at a gas station. My mom at Starbucks, and we could not afford to have furniture in the house. So we had sleeping bags in a low-income housing apartment, and I went from living in a house to living in an apartment on the floor with no food. We would eat ramen noodles. I would steal the food from Rite Aid and stuff myself just because I wanted to eat properly, or protein shakes. And here I am in school, not able to talk to people, make friends.
Yeah.
There was a girl I actually liked 5 months into school. It was just I couldn't talk to her either, so I would leave her notes and shit.
Yeah.
It was a mess, man.
Yeah.
So it was super overwhelming, But It worked out because I feel like it turned me into a man. I feel like the way I went through high school is the equivalent of like what you go through in the Marines, the training they put you in through, you know?
Big time. When did it start to like change? Like, did after high school, you said you started to feel more comfortable. Like, is that when you started to like, okay, I can handle this? Or like, when did that happen?
Yeah. So in high school, for me, it was either get bullied, get to nowhere, have no friends, or figure out a way to learn the language, make friends, figure out the culture, and force yourself into turning into a cool kid.
Yeah.
So I was always on the grind. I was never an entrepreneur, but I had an entrepreneur mentality towards, I guess, survival in like personal life, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And so after high school, I took that, like I said, I'd already gotten used to high school. I'd already learned how to make friends, learned the language, never went to college, but I got jobs, and I realized I'm really good at customer service. Yeah. And that's when my whole entrepreneurship journey began, and because I got different jobs in customer service, then eventually sales, and that really opened my eyes because I'm selling stuff for someone else to make them money, and I'll collect pocket change with a fancy name, commission.
Yeah.
And so I was like, crap. So I did customer service, front desk at gyms. Now I'm selling memberships, great money. Is there a next level after this? If there is, what is it?
Yeah.
Opening a business, how does that happen?
Yeah.
So that's how I stumbled upon the idea of starting a business with YouTube and starting my own channel.
Yep. So that's when that all started. How old were you when that like transition started to happen?
So high school, I was 18 when I graduated. I started working all kinds of jobs from 18 to 21.
Yeah.
My last job was a gym, and I got screwed over out of a massive commission.
Yeah.
And I was super, super butthurt for having gotten a call from the corporate office saying, hey, great job, but we got it from here, that call.
Yeah.
So you're not getting commission, you might get a position upgrade. I was like, okay, well, this sucks. I did all this work for somebody else, and this company is not something I can pass on to my kid. I have no control over it. Every idea I have, I got to go through my manager and their manager. Yeah. So I was like, how do I get out of this and go to the next chapter?
Yeah. So that was like what, low 23 or something?
21.
21.
2014, I was 21 when I started my channel.
Got it. And then my other big question, because I see these sort of like patterns a lot, is I'm really fascinated and I don't know, motivated by people who come from, you don't come from an entrepreneurial family, or you don't come from like a big business family, or you don't come like, what do you think your mindset was at that time when it came to like trying something so risky, coming from a background that isn't like, do you think you had the motivation from the move to the US and just the power placed behind opportunity, or like what was your mentality that gave you the balls to go actually try that?
What is your motivation to eat food when you're really hungry? Mm-hmm. There really is. You can't really explain it, right? You just want to eat food.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how it was. I don't know where it came from. I'm getting goosebumps. I remember like as a kid, sleeping on a fucking floor with a shitty family that I hated. My family was a mess, bro.
Yeah.
Mom's side, dad was a general, spoiled, had servants, traveling the world. That's my mom's side. My dad's side, poor. Dad has a hoarder mentality, just collects used stuff, doesn't spend money, greedy. So you put them together in the same house, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. My
My dad was abusive, so I would literally, it wasn't even about like living a cool life. It was about like, what do I do to not get my ass kicked by my dad? Yeah. That was until I was 18, big and old enough to stop that. Yeah. So it wasn't even about like wanting to be successful. It was more like, I'm tired of this shit. Like I'm watching, all these YouTubers or all these people on Instagram. I mean, when I was 18, 19, 20, there was Instagram. Yeah. So I would watch these people live beautiful lives, traveling the world, having cool friends, having beautiful girlfriends, owning cool cars, and more importantly, just being happy. Yeah. And I was like, what have I done in my life to deserve the shitty fucking life I live in? Yeah. Living in this country, clueless as to what to do, because I wasn't in a place where my family or my close circle of friends and family, I had someone to look up to and be like, that's how you become a man. Yeah. You do this. So all I got to do is just work hard and just do those. I didn't have that. Yeah. So I'm sitting here clueless as to what to do. And I was just tired of it. Yeah. So my sole purpose in life was to just look for that one path that I could see the end, the light at the end, success, happiness, and just sprint. Yeah. And I had that same mentality working front desk at 24 Hour Fitness. I wasn't just saying hi and bye to customers. I was saying, hi, what can I do to make your experience better? I was selling selling memberships when I wasn't supposed to, because I wanted to make more money. I wanted to just learn more. I wanted to get out of that life. And the same mentality was towards YouTube. If you look at my pictures on my site, have you seen them yet?
No.
Want me to show you on my phone?
Please.
When I started my YouTube career, I did not one bit look like the influencer or even, bro. I was ugly. I was bald, fucking black underbags. I mean, I don't know why people even watch me on YouTube, to be entirely honest.
It's real. That's why.
Yeah,
people love. They're like, well, I don't know what this guy's about.
But what I did have it was hunger. You know, I wanted to succeed. I wanted to be happy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That one is
That's
crazy.
the lowest point of my life right there.
That literally looks like you in 40 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was bad.
If
bro.
you don't take good care of yourself.
Yeah. It was bad.
Gosh, good for you, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wow.
So like it blows my mind when I hear questions like, for the viewers at home, what would you say to like motivate them? I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
In my opinion, to be an entrepreneur, to be happy or successful, you either have that hunger or you don't. If you have it, then I'll tell you A to Z how to get to where I am if you want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
But there's no magic spell or quote I can give someone who would much rather sit at home and smoke weed and watch TV or play video games.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like I have a disease. It's like an obsession with success. Yeah. And whatever I got to do, I'll do it to get to where I am.
Yeah. But what I've noticed too from like I said, I've done a million of these interviews now. I've read a bunch of books about it, and I'm just fascinated by the topic. There's something, I don't know either. If I did, I would be a billionaire off of telling people this secret. But there's something in the people that transfer that desire into action. There's a big holdup that happens right there. And I think nobody wants to be broke. Nobody wants to be unhealthy. Nobody wants to feel like shit constantly or be beat around or whatever. But most people don't transfer it into actual physical action out in the world. They just make plans for what they would do or how they would spend the imaginary money. And I think that that's what leads to a lot of drug abuse and drinking problems and all this stuff. It's this pent up energy. It's that you know you're better than this, but you don't actually act. And so you self-destruct sort of. And there's just something that, made you not dream about going and doing something, or not working at 24 Hour Fitness and thinking that you were better than this and fuck this job and this, I don't deserve this. There's just something about the people who actually act. I think most people live in their heads, and there's disappointment and there's jealousy and there's resentment and there's all those stuff. There's just not action. And it sounds like even though you were miserable and unhappy and all this stuff, you thought, what do I need to actually do to change my environment? Not why me. No. It should be different.
Absolutely
This isn't fair. So I don't know. I think I don't know either. I wish I could give a blueprint, but I can't.
I think, I don't know either, but the first thing that pops into my mind is just dreaming. I had nothing. I was sleeping on the floor. I had no friends. I was just struggling to even speak to people in high school. Yeah. But what I did have, and I think that was also my strength as a content creator, because I use it to create, which was the ability to dream. Yeah. So I remember this, man. I remember I was sleeping on the floor in my sleeping bag, but I would envision myself in a few years opening a Ferrari door. I'd never been in a Ferrari or touched a Ferrari, but I would imagine myself opening one and getting inside and feeling what it feels like to be that guy. Yeah. So every step I would take in going to my job at 4 a.m., I would tell myself, hey, this is to get me there. Yep. So it was almost like constantly envisioning myself and daydreaming about the end result. So it was just a matter of figuring out how to get there. Yeah. So I feel like if I was super overweight, I would just imagine myself super fit. Yeah. And then it would just be a matter of, all right, what do I do to get there? Yeah. You know? Time.
Yeah, it's so important. So then when it comes time to start YouTube, obviously super risky. The biggest thing that fascinates me about the people who made it in those sort of lanes is like, there's no blueprint. You can do anything, which can be a gift and a curse. What do you start doing? Like, what are you filming on? What's your concept? Like, what's that all look like?
Yeah. So no matter who you are, what kind of videos you watch, what do you do in your personal life, what are you into, no matter who you are, there's a group of people out there with those exact interests. I had this exact talk with somebody else before, and they were like, well, what if I'm a 40-year-old guy that still plays with Legos? There's not many people like me, right? Yeah. I was like, I don't know, let's see. So I pulled my phone out, went on YouTube, and I looked up adults playing with Legos. Bro, it's a thing. There's grown-ass men that have jobs at places like Google, like tech jobs, who come home, take off their suit and build a Star Wars spaceship. And they spend 3 years building this gigantic thing. And then they make a video out of it, and 500,000 people watch them. And then Lego sponsors them with newer limited edition stuff. So no matter who you are, there's people out there that have the same interests. And they some of them can't afford to do what you do. Some of them can't afford the Legos. I have no time. So they want to come home from work, eat a bowl of cereal, and watch you play with Legos, and they envision themselves being your friend and being there with you and experiencing that feeling. So it just simply comes down to who are you and what need are you going to fulfill in people? Are you going to be an educational channel and fulfill a need in learning, a math problem, a DIY on how to set up a nice, beautiful studio decor, or are you going to be a funny channel and entertain people? Are you going to be a fitness channel and teach people how to get a bigger bicep? So once you decide that, then you structure your channel and your videos in a way to target those people and fulfill those needs. So if you're a fitness channel, everything needs to scream fitness. You gotta be fit, first of all. You gotta have your thumbnail screaming, "Hey, I'm a fit guy. I know what I'm doing. Let me teach you what to do now."
So did you do that at that age? At 21, were you already starting to figure that out?
No, like you said, there's no blueprint, or what there's now. Back then, there was no blueprint. So there was no class in school called How to Be a Social Media Influencer, and there was no courses or programs. There was no mentors. So I literally had to email bigger channels and say, hey, look, I'll film for you. I'll work for you for free. I just need to figure out what makes your videos get 10 million views when I have the same video, but I get 500 views. So there was no blueprint. It took me I think 9 months to gain my first 100K subscribers. Made so many mistakes, and I was just rinse and repeating my things that I would do good and not repeat the mistakes. And I would reverse engineer top channels' videos to see why they're going viral. Does viral mean, oh, lucky, I'm a YouTube angel, boom, magic spell, you're viral? Or is there a formula that makes the viewers not only watch the video and go, ha, that's funny, next, or watch and say, wow, this is so funny, it made me feel a certain way. Now I want to share it to seem like a reliable source of this content to my own Facebook friends. So I figured all this out little by little. Finally, when I figured it out, it was 2016. 2 years later, I had 1 million subscribers. And then it took me a couple of more years to get to 4 million. Last year, this time, I had 4 million subscribers. Now I'm almost at 8. So I doubled in just a year. So it just comes down to learning the science. I mean, if you ask a surgeon, how do you open a guy's heart? Take out his heart and then put it back together and not kill him. It makes no sense. It does. You go to medical school, you learn the A, B, C to Z on how to do that and get perfect results. Fortunately and unfortunately, society still does not look at social media influencers as a reliable job or career. It's fortunate because if you're interested, prime time, hop on it right now. It's unfortunate because it's just, there's no college for it. So you got talented people busting their ass on videos and then saying, I get no views. I don't understand why. It's a good video. Why won't people watch it? Because they don't understand SEO, tags, how does YouTube work? How does the algorithm work? The science behind triggering emotion in the viewers to make them want to actually share that video, which then turns one view into potentially 50 because they have 50 Facebook friends that watch it also.
That's the huge thing that I think, once again, like social media was sort of discounted for so long. And now that I know more people like you that have done this, there's so much more of a science to it than like, oh, I don't know, he made this funny video and it went viral and now he's famous. You know what I mean? And I think, to be honest, I don't want to sound complainy, but like we sort of discount everyone's success, right? Like we look at movie stars and we're like, oh, well, he's just really good looking and he probably ran into so-and-so at a party. And, you know what I mean? Like we kind of do that. We don't really look at or dissect the story of how you build a successful movie star, YouTuber, entrepreneur, any of that stuff, right? So that's where I think people like you that are talking more about the entrepreneurial side of this stuff, like you have a really big lane because it's looked at as luck or you were born funny and like whatever, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really understanding that side of it, I think will be really, really valuable.
Yeah.
When was and I want to talk more about that after we get through the story because there's so much there. But when was the moment, if it existed, where you were like, holy shit, this is something. Like, I'm going to be able to live off this. I'm going to be able to finally get that Ferrari I wanted. Whatever that feeling was. I know I've had a few of them throughout my life where I just was like, holy cow, man, things are different now. You know, did that happen for you?
Oh, 1000%, man. So I had quit my last job. I had a couple grand saved up, and I blew right through that in a few months. So I'm sitting there with $175 in my bank. That's when I started my channel. And then making videos costs money. You got to get props. I didn't own a camera, so I had to borrow my friend's camera and pay for editing, this and that. We had to somehow get a 50-year-old camera lens and somehow find a way to put it on a newer camera body because we needed a zoom lens. Nightmare. So I had no money, and then I think it was the fourth week into doing YouTube. I had like 7-8 videos up. Finally, I got a check from Google. I got a check from Google.com, bro. You got this loser who's making no money, has no friends, nothing good in life, and then I get a check from Google.com. Best feeling ever. I open it up, $1,375.
That's hard to get.
Not from working a job, not from going to school or dealing with a shitty manager, clocking in, clocking out. I made money from making funny videos that got me fans, that got me recognized, but more importantly, I had fun while doing it. So I was like, wait, I made this much money for getting this little views and just by having fun. So that's when I was like, what if I had 1 million subscribers? How much money would I be making then? What if I just dropped everything I'm doing, moved out of this crappy household with just negative energy around me and just laser focus on YouTube? What would happen then? I didn't actually make a move on it because it was just, I'm freaking 21. I always had my parents pay my bills. And the idea of, and I only had a G in my bank. It wasn't enough to move out and all that. But finally, a few weeks later, me and my dad would never get along. And I remember he was too cheap to buy my mom food ingredients so she can cook proper meals. And she would just not want to shop on her own because she had no money. So we would literally eat chicken, potatoes, and tomatoes mixed into a soup for meals. And I didn't want to eat that. So I had that G in my bank now. So I would buy In-N-Out all the time and eat it at home. One day my dad's like, hey, what are you eating? Why are you eating unhealthy food? And I was like, I'm eating food, man. Like, I don't want to eat your chicken and tomatoes and potatoes. And he's like, well, if you're going to do that, why don't you make something better for all of us? So we argued back and forth. I called him a crappy dad, all that as a 21-year-old. So it ended up with me getting superheated, getting up and throwing my burger at the wall. I still remember it just slided down super slowly. And that's when I had it. I was like, you know what? I'm succeeding in life. I work hard. Why am I dealing with any of this? I didn't think he was a bad person. We just didn't get along. Maybe. I mean, at least he was feeding me. At least he was providing a roof over my head. All that was cool. I was just not happy. And that's what it came down to. So I remember going back into my room, going online and just looking at apartments. I found the cheapest apartment in the whole city of Orange County. Next day I had a U-Haul and I moved right out. Never went back. A couple months later, I bought my first car with my own money, and just everything since then has been just going up.
That's wild. I've talked to a few other people too who have a similar, like, it was that moment when you decided to finally dedicate your whole life to this thing and cut the safety net that it really went to the next level. You know what I mean?
Going back to what you said earlier about what makes people actually make the move and do stuff, I guess, and maybe it's not a healthy way, but in my case, it's always been negative situations. Whenever I really like a chick, for example, and it doesn't go through, I'll have the best 4 months of business growth ever because I'm just like, I'm not good enough. Is that what it is? Boom, work, go to the gym, make more money and just fix my flaws. So with like I said, with the whole move out thing, I didn't move out when things were decent. I moved out when I just had enough. So I think negative things that happen to you can be the most beautiful things because they can slingshot you to the top if you know how to deal with them. You can sit there, smoke weed and be like, wow, my life sucks. Or it could be like, you know what, fuck all this. I know I deserve better. maybe I don't have it now, but I'll figure out how to get there and I'll just work my ass towards it. And there's no other way.
Big time. Big time. I couldn't agree more. I've always said, like, I feel like some of the greatest things in history have been built after breakups.
Yeah.
You know, because like you get that hunger of like, I'm going to show you. You're going to regret ever doing that. You know what I mean? And what about, like, was there ever a moment when, like, a video, well, you know what, I want to ask you this too, is how did you land on the sort of prank style, your style of content? How did you end up there?
So in high school, you know, like, I wasn't having fun in school. I had no friends. So I remember every Tuesday and Wednesday at 4 p.m., my two favorite channels would post videos. One was Ownage Pranks. He would make prank calls. Loved the guy, man. I loved his videos. I was watching them. Second channel was Simple Pickup. The guys would pick up girls and like teach their viewers how to talk to girls. So I was always watching pranksters. Of course, I was watching Vitaly as well. Actually, what really made me want to start a channel is when I watched Vitaly's video on him buying a new Jaguar. So I was like, wow, this, and he had made videos talking about his past and childhood, and it was very similar to mine with the abusive dad and all that. So I was like, I thought this guy had an abusive dad and his life sucked. How is he buying a Jaguar? Where he was and where he's at now makes no sense. So that's when I was like, yo, he's making money from YouTube. That's when I made the move. So I was always watching pranks, and I really wanted to start YouTube. So I was going through different channel ideas I could start. I wasn't fit to be a fitness channel. I wasn't decent looking enough to be like any channel basically. But I was like, hey, I could make pranks. I'm a ballsy guy. So I just started making a couple of videos and just writing ideas down and just little by little just put together a community of people that were interested in watching those videos.
And then was there one that just like hit super hard? Is that how it works or no?
Oh yeah. Well, when you don't know what you're doing, you wait for the magical viral pony, right? You just sit there and you hope that your videos go viral because you don't understand SEO, YouTube algorithm. So I was making videos, just basically throwing shit at the wall, hoping one video will stick. And that's what happened. But it took a year and a half. It took 2 years, 2016. 2016 in January, I posted a video called a shampoo prank. It's where I go to the beach, hide behind the walls or bushes, and if someone takes a shower to rinse off, I'll hop behind a shower and I'll pour shampoo on their head, and they have no idea where it's coming from. They freak out, and it's funny every time. So that's my biggest video in January 2016. It got shared by Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh wow,
bro! I had no friends in high school, and now I'm sitting here with Shaquille O'Neal sharing my videos. Every person from high school, yo man, saw Shaq share your video. Let's hang out sometime. You know,
that's the best feeling though.
And then eventually Justin Bieber's manager, I forget his name, he shared the video. Scooter, and then I forget their names, but a lot of big people shared my videos. And that's what really blew my channel up. I gained my shampoo prank got like 5 million views in a week and a half, made me a ton of money. So I was like, holy crap, this is insane. And I just kept at it. I've done 13 shampoo pranks, and it's so funny because I was doing some math the other day. I've done 13 shampoo pranks so far, okay? Almost all at Venice Beach at the same exact shower because they're made so perfectly. Each time I do like 10 reactions, but I use 5. 10 reactions, I'll shampoo for about 5 minutes each. So what is that? 10 reactions, 5 minutes each. That's an hour per video times 13. I've spent 13 hours on those walls at Venice Beach with a shampoo bottle in my hand, just pouring shampoo. But that's a good lesson for life. You know what I mean? You find your thing and you fucking work at it. It's so funny because I'll randomly get DMs on Instagram of like tourists visiting Venice Beach, and they'll just take a picture of the showers and just DM it to me like, this is where the shampoo pranks were born.
For sure, bro. That's probably a famous destination.
Yeah, it is.
What I mean? Once again to relate, like I grew up skateboarding, and LA is like skateboard capital of the world. And so my first trip here when I was like 12, all I wanted to do was drive around and look at like the stairs in front of Hollywood High School. And, and like my parents probably thought I was insane because I'm like taking pictures of a set of stairs, but that's like a famous thing from all the videos. So for sure for these kids, it's like, there's the shower, dude. There's the freaking prank. You stand under it, I'll squirt it. Have you ever gotten in like any sketchy, has anyone ever tried to beat you up or like anything ever go bad?
I knew from the beginning. I knew if I was going to do pranks, things were going to go wrong. I've had cops called on me. I've had people trying to fight me before. You know, it comes with it. You know,
Yeah.
You can't. It's a numbers game. You can't make everyone happy
For sure.
But in my mind, I might piss off one person, but I'll make millions laugh.
For sure.
And I've gotten some powerful emails, man, from people that to this day, each time it'll blow my mind away by how much of an impact someone online can have.
Yeah.
People saying, "Hey, I'm depressed, suicidal. Your videos made me smile."
Yeah.
Bro, what?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's what it's all about.
They're across the planet. I'm like, how did I do that to someone across the planet?
Yeah.
But it just feels amazing. Yeah, it's good to make money and all that, but for someone to say, "Hey, don't know you, don't really care to know you, but you made me smile. Thank you, peace." Yeah. It's just like the best feeling.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So pure.
And like, so what about now? Like, what's it all look like now? You've been successful for some time now. I see you got all the cars you could ever dreamed of. Life looks really good. But you're also doing more entrepreneurial type stuff. I know this is far from the end of the journey.
Yeah.
What is it evolving into now? What do things look like now?
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a natural introvert. I like being alone and like
Which you would have thought,
low key.
right? The guy out pranking everyone.
Yeah. I wish I could say, yes, I was born as a comedian. I'm so good on stage. I'm not. You know, I'm naturally shy. But so my goal past 30 is to not be like mainstream famous. I don't want TMZ on my ass every time I break up with a girl or whatever.
Yeah.
My goal is to do YouTube for a couple more years, and then after that, I want to teach people that want what I experience and have how to get there. Because I feel like the whole entrepreneur world is diluted with a bunch of, like, I don't want to say scammers, but people with the wrong intentions.
Yep.
And when I started, I would have done anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything. I was so desperate for a little bit of guidance.
Yeah.
You know? And there was none. I emailed people, I searched online, there was nothing. And what I did pay for, the courses I did pay for, it was all garbage.
Yeah.
You know, it's someone with 1 million followers teaching you how to get there, and all they're saying is, yes, be motivated, work hard. Yeah. But how do I deal with the algorithm? What tags do I use? None of that. And all the people at the top with 10 million followers, they're not going to share their secrets with you. Yeah. So my goal past, I've already started, but officially past 30 is to like share my message and show people how to get here. Yep. And I feel like when I am 30, or even right now, people are waking up and realizing that social media is the next stage for entertainment, and it's the next TV and cable. You look at TV and cable, their ratings are dropping.
Oh yeah, it's over.
You talk to your little kids, what's your favorite show? They don't say SpongeBob anymore. They don't say, I love Kim Kardashian. They'll say Jake Paul, Logan Paul, David Dobrik, you know? And that's the future. Yeah. And so there's so much potential for being a YouTuber or Instagrammer. You, like you talked about, even celebrities are making TikToks. Selena Gomez just made a TikTok 2 days ago. Yeah. Because they're waking up, their managers are calling them saying, hey, you got to start a TikTok account or Instagram account.
The biggest news ever was that Jennifer Aniston finally joined Instagram.
Yeah.
And now all of her posts are like, you know what I mean? It's like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
I think Will Smith is like, if Will Smith didn't wake everyone up to that transition, I think you're sleeping forever, right? Yeah. Because like the fact that he obviously put a plan, an initiative, carved out time, here's how we're going to address it, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like, and he is an absolute legend. And I would argue, and I don't know if anyone would disagree, that it sort of revived his movie sort of appetite. You know what I mean? Like it made you like, oh yeah, like I'll go check out that Will Smith movie. He was, don't get me wrong, he's a legend forever, but like he had some flops. Yeah. And now there's like this revived, like, oh, what's Will Smith working on? Nobody asked that.
Because he's relevant again in the eyes of young people.
Yeah.
Who are the ones buying the merch, who are the ones blowing money on movies. Hey, Dad, can we go watch the new Will Smith movie? I saw his vlog on YouTube with his son. Yeah. I think a really good example of, I mean, I have so much respect for this guy, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. Before any celebrity made an Instagram or YouTube, Dwayne, 4 years ago, I remember, had started a YouTube channel. Yeah. And he was collabing with all the big YouTubers. Yeah. Genius guy, man. He saw it coming before anybody else did. Yeah, big time. But yeah, I just, to put it simply, it's definitely the future. Instagram. And what's really funny is like you own @drama on IG, right? Yeah. In my eyes, that's real estate.
Yeah, for sure.
The same way how if you want to buy food.com now, it'll probably cost you a couple million.
Absolutely.
I really do believe mother platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they'll never die down. Yeah. Owning keywords and usernames is
I
real
agree.
estate.
I just got it on TikTok and I felt like I had a big win.
You had drama?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't have Hooman. It's pissing me off.
Planted my flag in the ground.
Yeah.
I'm
People
drawn.
try and sell me my own name.
Oh yeah, a guy did that on Twitter, and I was gonna buy it, and then he got banned, and now I don't know how to get a hold of him.
Not nice, man. They call them username squatters or something.
Yeah,
Or-
it's smart. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. This is another thing I want to ask you about. What do you think about this whole like burnout thing? Right, everyone's burnt out. It's big in YouTube land, and I've had some debates about it with my friends. And there's kind of two views. One is like, sure, everyone's burnt out and rightfully so, and this shit's hard and go take a break. The other one is like, a lot of people are burnt out. A lot of people work really, really hard on boring, regular ass jobs that don't make a lot of money. These people are very fortunate and maybe aren't treating it right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn. Like sometimes I go into like, man, suck it up. Like this is such an amazing gift. Sometimes I understand. Where do you fall on that?
It's a good question, man, because me and that guy have been fighting about this for some time. He knows the value of what I have on social media. I have 8 million followers on YouTube, 1 million on IG, and I'm so good at it. I could gain so much more. Yeah. But there is definitely times where I'm like, oh, what's next?
Yeah.
Like I'm ready for the next chapter. Yeah.
But I would argue that's different. That's like your life going in a different direction and saying, I'm ready to create something different. It seems like a lot of people are just like, I can't take it. I need a break. Or like there's no plan or there's no evolution. It's just, it's more tied into like, negative comments and
all of that.
Like just, right? Or am I wrong?
I mean, I definitely had times where I couldn't take negative comments, but it just comes down to just whipping out your scale and putting the scale in front of you and saying, all right, 10 negative comments, but I made 10 G's last month.
Yeah.
Am I going to really cry about 10 negative comments? Or is 10 G's enough for me to be like, you know what? It's okay. I have 10 haters, but I got 1,000 more positive comments. Yeah. Or saying like, oh, I'm not good at this. When I started YouTube, I wasn't good at anything YouTube related. I couldn't talk to a camera. I didn't even have a camera. Yeah. But I saw the potential. I was okay with my flaws. I was willing to put in the work. Yeah. So I guess it just comes down to, is what you're doing, even though you suck at it, something that could make you happy when results do come in. Yeah. And when a little bit of positive result does come in, is that going to motivate you to get to the next level? Yeah. Or are the downsides, the cons, way too much for you want to do this? Yeah. When I started, each little bit of success made me happy and excited for the next level. So I was okay with, like I said, not knowing how to make videos, the struggle, there being no actual mentors to learn from. Yeah. So I just feel like it just comes down to you. One thing Arnold Schwarzenegger said that I really liked was, don't chase the money, chase happiness. Yep. And when I heard it, I was like, yeah, easy for you to say, Mr. Billionaire. Yeah. That's such bullshit. But every single day after that, each time I think about it, it makes more and more sense. Yeah. You chase the money, yes, you might be at home watching right now. You're like, oh, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, but I hate social media. I hate making videos. Yeah. I hate working on a computer. Yeah. Then it's not for you. There has to be a perfect balance of happiness and doing something that's profitable, scalable, and lucrative. Yeah. So I feel like that's what it comes down to.
So what do you think then is the solution for the burnout problem? Is it to make sure that when you're getting started, you actually enjoy what you're doing, and then maybe you won't deal with that as severely if you do get successful?
Yeah, and I also think sometimes you don't see it coming. It's like dating a girl, when you first meet her, you're like, holy crap, this girl's amazing. I'm gonna date her. Yeah. And then 3 years, it'll take you 3 years to be like, whoa, I can't see myself with this girl forever. It's not your fault. You had a good 3 years. You thought it was gonna work out. Yeah. Suck it up. Tell her what it is. End it. Move on to the next chapter. Yeah. So maybe you will start a YouTube channel and spend 5 years of your life on it, and then you'll have good results, you make some money. But when the time comes where you feel burnt out, no matter what people say to you, if you genuinely feel burnt out and this chapter has to end and you're ready for what's next, then you got to do it, because the last thing you want to do is keep telling yourself, but I'm making so much money, and then you wake up, you're like, oh shit, I gotta make more videos. Yeah. So I just feel like as human beings, we're meant to be happy. Yeah. We're meant to just look forward to the next day. A tree doesn't care how much money it has. A cat doesn't care how much property it has. It's either happy, or if it's unhappy, it'll run away and go find happiness. Yeah. So with us, to put it simply, everything you do in life has to end with you sleeping happy. If that's not happening, there's something wrong. You got to fix it. If it's like I said, if the pros and cons, if the pros balance out the cons, the feeling burnt out, not wanting to make videos, then keep going. But if you're like, fuck this, like I hate everything about this, then maybe it is time for a new chapter.
Yeah, I agree. And then what about the other issue? Another one that's a hot topic is, how much time people spend on their phones, and that social media just usage is causing depression issues and all that stuff. What are your thoughts on it? And also, how do you treat it? Like as a creator, do you have to make time to stop checking and seeing how your videos are doing and all that stuff, or how do you treat it?
To be honest with you, I wasn't treating it. I'm so sucked into the whole social media world where it was my life, and even my personal life somehow got involved in social media. Because if I wasn't checking on my competitors or keeping track of what's going viral, I was still on social media because on my personal accounts on Facebook, seeing what my friends are up to. Until in January, my last breakup, when I was going through I wasn't good enough, 4 months of like hard work, I was watching Ed Milet on his YouTube channel. And he said every morning when he wakes up, and that's Ed Milet, genius, millionaire dude, successful. He does not check his phone for 30 minutes. And his reason is that if he wakes up out of bed and he reads a negative text or email, that's very likely his whole mood for the whole day, because he woke up to terrible news and dove right into troubleshooting zone. But if he wakes up, takes care of himself, shower, see his beautiful wife, kids, started off with a beautiful note, he has his defenses up and ready to go, shields up when problems do come in. So I've taken that, but not just in the morning. I've there's been times where I'm like, I want to reach for my phone. It's almost like a weird like need. It's almost like needing to breathe. I think social media is still so new where we feel like we can control it. But there's definitely times where I'll be editing a video and I just grab my phone to check on IG for no reason. There's no notification, there's no ring. I'll just go, and then I'm like, why am I doing this?
It's like cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
Or like anything like that. But like where I used to smoke cigarettes, and I would just wake up in the morning and grab my coffee, grab a cigarette, whatever. I'd be working, I'd go downstairs, smoke a cigarette. Like you just don't even think about it, you know? And that's why for me, I don't have any social media on my phone during the day. It's on an iPad at my house. So I wake up in the morning, I read for a little bit first. Same idea, like get your mind clear first. Check it, it's fun. Then go off on my day. I don't even have it on me. If I really need to post something, these guys have my login and they'll post it. And then when I get home, it's like a nice little treat too. Like, oh, what happened today for everyone else? But I agree, man. It's because I turned off notifications. I realized I was checking it anyway. Then I put it on a different phone. I put it in my computer bag. I would just grab it out of the bag. I started putting it in my car. I would walk down to my car like I was smoking cigarettes and be like in my car like, what's up, guy? What are you doing? Give me the likes. And then I just started leaving it at home. And it does genuinely feel so much like
normal, right?
Normal. And now I'm fine. But there was like, you can feel like reaching for it and it's not there.
I know what you mean.
It's weird.
I mean, can we fix that? Is it like a drug we can just ban in a country, or guns, or like cocaine? No, it's not going to go anywhere.
No.
Social media is here to stay, and if you want to fight it, you're going to end up being the 50-year-old guy in the woods with a long beard, saying, with a tinfoil hat, and like living that life. So I feel like it can be used greatly for business, social life potentially. It just comes down to learning how to use it, like any other thing that can be abused, like food and alcohol. It can be very, very harmful if you don't know how to use it. Thankfully, like I said, I woke up to realizing, okay, I'm spending a lot of time on social media, so now I can control that. Now there's times where I'll fight back, and I did it yesterday actually. I was editing, and I was grabbing my phone, so I took my phone and put it in the other room, and I just came back, focused for 3-4 hours, and then I never checked my phone until the next morning.
Wild. This is wild. We have to do that. And then we're like, what's wrong with me? I can't make my own decisions.
Literally changing humankind. It's insane. But there's definitely ups and downs to it, Like I've made a career from my phone, from making videos. That wasn't possible for my dad. When back in his days, and by the way, that's another massive level of friction people like me have to go through, because you got a guy, whose whole family went to college. I wasn't good in school. I didn't do good in school, and now I'm sitting here making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
My parents were like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Either pay the bills or get out and go make videos on the streets." You know, they didn't understand it, because back in their day, you either had family money or you had some crazy idea like building railroads or finding a new medicine, or you busted your ass in school for 12 years, like my family did. But with social media, you can be that guy that buys a book about building apps and builds Snapchat and be a billionaire in 3 years, or make a video saying, "Damn, Daniel," and go on Ellen for it and make a bunch of money, or do shampoo pranks.
Yeah.
That's possible. But with that comes a lot of negativity. You can be depressed because you're sitting there on your couch, living a shitty life, and watching Ty Lopez drive Lamborghinis, and you're like, "Fuck, that's so out of reach. That could never be me. Fuck that. I'm just gonna go zone out and play video games. I don't even want to think about that." Because you're constantly just watching these people live their life, and it's just so unrelatable sometimes.
What do your parents say now?
Can I have some money?
I mean, they have to be mind blown, right?
They are. I mean, they are, and they understand how everything works much more now, and they're super proud. I mean, man, you got my grandma that has her neighbor tell her that her son's a fan of mine across the planet, and she's like, my grandma still doesn't understand what I do, but she'll be like, "Hey, the neighbor's son watches you on the internet. Don't know what that means, but what the fuck?" So now they love it, of course. But at the beginning, nobody was supportive. My friends thought I was crazy. I remember my first video. I posted it, and I got 50 comments on my video because I would message people one by one. Hey, copy paste too, not even smart enough to like custom the message. Hey, just posted a video. Can you check it out? Give me feedback and write a comment. Because nobody was supportive. It's after high school, you either start a merch business, sell shirts. That's what it was, right? Or you're a DJ, or you're a event promoter, or nowadays you're a social media, you're an Instagram or a YouTuber. People just think you're another guy who's gonna make a couple videos and just give up. And that's what happens to most people.
Big time. Okay, so I don't want to let you leave without getting a couple tips. You gave me a few before we started recording, and I know this is what you're passionate about, and I know there's a lot of people watching this stuff that are creators and want to figure it out. So would you say that the biggest misconception about social media success is that it's simply good videos get shared, bad videos don't?
1000%.
That's it.
That used to be correct, sort of when I started, but more importantly in 2007, 9, 10, 11, when YouTube was so new, there wasn't much competition. So if you just made decent videos, you would go viral. 2018, 2019, the YouTube algorithm is so smart, so complicated. And there's so much competition where if you're solely relying on good content, you're not going to go anywhere. Why? Because I guarantee you, no matter what videos you make, there's plenty of other people with iPhone 10s, fancy cameras, doing the same thing. And they're all in almost like the way I look at it is everyone's in a tiny bucket called 0 subscribers, and they're just crawling over each other. And me, I want a subscriber. But none of them go anywhere. Because there's 2-3 leading channels in each genre, entrepreneurship, comedy videos, cars, fitness, and they're getting all the views. So as a brand new channel, why would the algorithm give you views or give me views when there's 3 leading channels in a genre posting constant videos and satisfying YouTube's customers?
So what are the biggest things that people don't know? Is it the way you title? Do you need a clickbaity description? I mean, what are the... You don't got to give me all of it, but what are...
I will. I'll talk. I'll keep talking.
Tell me. What goes on that we don't see?
So to summarize it, so imagine this is a YouTube video, right? This is your product, and this is the audience you're going after. And by the way, before we even start a channel, you got to figure out what need you're going to fulfill and who your audience is, down to age, what country they're watching from, and the female-male ratio. For example, my audience is almost all male. I have no females watching my videos. And because everything I do is towards males, towards making males click my video and watch them. So before you do anything, you do that. So this is the content. This is your viewers, right? The middle is the bridge that connects your content to the right viewers. And that's the YouTube algorithm. 2009, when PewDiePie started, it was very simple. You upload a video, you title it funny video, and then if someone searched for funny video, it would show up. There was no competition. Now there's so many people, and let me tell you why there's competition. When I started YouTube, if you wanted to be a YouTuber, you had to go either find a camera or buy a camera. There was a little bit of friction you had to deal with to start. So you have to be very serious and want to invest that initial $300. Now, You don't have to buy anything because your iPhone 7 and up has a 4K camera.
Yeah.
So everyone's a YouTuber naturally.
Yeah.
So because of that, there's a way more competition. So with your product to the right audience, the bridge is the algorithm, and to talk to the algorithm, you speak the language. You go to China, you want to open a business, a restaurant, and get customers to come to your product, your food. You got to speak Chinese.
Yeah.
You got to have a Chinese menu. With YouTube, it's the same thing. So it's understanding the YouTube algorithm, understanding why it favors some videos over the other ones, and how to speak to it. So you speak to it using metadata. Metadata is the tags you use in the tag box, the title, description box, what's being said verbally in the video, and the comment section. So if I sit here right now in your YouTube video, and in the past hour we had said the word pranks over and over, when you post the video to YouTube, within 24 hours there'll be auto-generated subtitles in the video. YouTube does that to scan the video, make sure there's no one screaming, no bad words being said. It's a clean, healthy video.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason. Second, to make the viewer's experience smoother by having subtitles. Third, to understand what the video is in case you're trying to cheat the system by putting misleading tags. For example, by spamming Taylor Swift over and over, trying to get millions of views, even though your video is about playing video games.
Yeah. So you're saying just by saying the word pranks, it picks that up?
Yes. It's a part of it. It's just because we're saying entrepreneur over and over doesn't mean you're going to be number one in entrepreneur keyword search results. But it's just a part of the formula.
For sure.
It's by saying those words in a video a lot that you rank higher. But more importantly, it's the tags in the tag box. How do you find tags with the highest search results, and as far as people looking them up, with the least competition? That's where you win. Video title. Most people think if you just jam as many words in there as possible, it's better. But then you divide up the SEO power into each keyword, and you have a lot of it. So each keyword on its own has no power now. So you want to keep it super short. Description box. 99.9% of channels don't put anything down there. But the algorithm reads that data also to understand what this video is about. And then comment section. If me and you just ended the video by saying, hey guys, what other entrepreneur do you want to see on the show? And have your audience just bombard the comments with names. Each one of those names is a keyword. The algorithm, when it sees, for example, Grant Cardone over and over, it's going to assume this video has something to do with this keyword, aka Grant Cardone. So people that search for Grant Cardone would probably appreciate watching this video, therefore be satisfied and come back to YouTube more to watch more videos.
And
so
thumbnail too?
1,000%.
Really?
When you have a girl over and you're sitting there trying to watch a movie, and you have like 3 minutes before she gets bored. So you're like, fuck, what movie do you want to watch, right? You're going through these movies fast. Do you sit there and watch every movie for 3 minutes before you pick the one to watch? Or do you look at the thumbnail first? Once it captures your attention, eye stopper, I call it. You stop, you read the title, the reviews, what year it was out, duration, and then the bio. The thumbnail is the most important thing. People judge people and things and videos by its cover. That's the first thing. When you meet a friend, is he smiling? Is he dressed properly? Does he smell good? Before you even talk to him or her, to even give him a chance to see if it could be a potential friend, mating partner, or whatever. Same thing with videos. The thumbnail is the most important thing. I can make a video right now and have every top entrepreneur in the world in the video, but the thumbnail is a black screen, or it's a iPhone 3 zoomed out, horrible lighting. No one's gonna click it. The thumbnail is very, very, very important because when people look up pranks, they're scrolling through a million options. And if you're not getting clicked, the algorithm assumes there's something wrong with your video. That's why it's not getting clicked. It's not being appreciated when it does show it to prank audiences. So then it'll bear your video in the page 3, page 4, page 5.
That is wild. So let's just say you just filmed a new prank video, you got it all edited. That took all the time that already took, which I'm sure is quite a production. You have it all ready. How long does it take you from the moment you start the upload process to actually post? How long does that process take?
I did it this morning. Do you guys want to say out loud how long it took me? Like an hour. About an hour. And it takes me an hour. I'm fast. I've done it so many times.
And that's, you're an expert at it.
Yeah, because the SEO, finding the right tags is different right now than tomorrow and yesterday. I got to find out what are the best tags to use right now that are being searched for by a lot of people that a lot of other influencers are not using.
How do you find that out?
Just tools. There's tools you can use. paid, free. I mean, Google does a great job by giving you all these tools because they make money when you make money.
Yeah.
So they do their best to give you all the data they can. So that's where most people miss it, man. And it blows my mind, but it's good for me because I get to get all the views. You know,
that's awesome.
You look at my channel, I forget the exact numbers, but I think I have 15 videos uploaded back to back, with each one breaking 10 million views. Yeah. And most people look at it and they're like, wow, this guy is so lucky, or wow, this guy must have spent so much money on ads. Bro, I spent $75 my whole career on advertising, and that was to an Instagram community page, a meme page to share my video. It got me no results. Yeah. It's all, there's so many people looking up stuff. So if you understand how to, if you understand the bridge, the SEO, the algorithm, whatever you want to call it, you can easily connect your video to the right people. Yeah. But you do that by understanding the YouTube algorithm for YouTube. Yeah. IG is a whole different level. Facebook, TikTok, it's all different algorithms. Yeah. You know, there's teams of 20 people sitting there just writing codes. Yeah. If the video has this, we put it on number 1 on search results. Yeah. If the video has this, we hide it, we bury it. Yeah. So for example, if you're cussing, if I know you're cool with cussing because you want to keep it real, but the YouTube algorithm, after all this stuff that they've been going through with media backlash, if there's cuss words in the video, demonetized, and they hide it. They want to put more clean content. Even if you put beep over it, they're smart. They know people put beep over the cuss words. Yeah. But beep means there is cuss words. Yeah. Therefore, it's still a bad video.
So what do? You just mute it for a second?
I just mute the sound. Yeah. Some people will put like sheep sounds or like...
Oh yeah, what about that? Was that a tactic? I remember the Jake Paul or someone was putting like dolphin noise, or somebody was.
Yeah, it's either that, you can't put beep, beep anymore, because that's the same thing as saying fuck. Yeah. You know?
God damn it, man.
I'm sorry. I'll give you, I'll
pay on page 5 for that. Okay, Taylor Swift, pranks,
yes, entrepreneur. PG content, family-friendly vlogs.
Toys, unboxing.
There you go. See, you know a little bit about CPM.
Okay, here's my big enders. Number 1, you can hop in a time machine. You can go anywhere in your life and tell yourself anything. Where do you go and what do you say?
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Feel free to take a second. I know I just hit you with a big one.
Hop into a time machine. Yep. Go to myself at any time and say something.
Yep. Where do you go and what do you say?
Fuck. Oh, I would go to, I don't know what age, I would just say the very young version of me, the one that hasn't figured out life yet. And I would just say, I would say a lot of things, obviously, but then what I would try and get across is trying to explain that what you have isn't you and will not be you if you want to change it. Because when I was a kid, you know, I would watch my friends live normal lives with a decent family, and I would come home and see my family fight. My dad was abusive. We had no money. So I was just like, what's happening here? Why does my best friend have this amazing life and I'm just out here getting beat up all the time? Is that my future too? And I had no reason and nothing had happened to me to be like, oh, that's not my future. Look at this happening to me. That's great. It was always just negative shit. And like I said, I had no mentor, no family member to explain to me, hey, like I know life's hard, but that won't be like this in 10 years. Trust me. Just keep working hard. So I would tell myself sooner before. And by the way, I feel like that's where things like suicide happen. Yeah. When people aren't blessed, aren't lucky enough, or whatever you want to name it, to see.
Oh yeah, it's when you give up hope,
like
complete hope.
Exactly, hope. They don't get to experience hope.
Yeah. Hope and faith are 2 of the biggest, most important emotions, right? To have
to keep
feelings.
you going. Yeah.
If you lose those, it's hard.
Yeah. I didn't experience that until I would say I was like 17, 18 when I started working and then using my money to like create happiness, to do cool things, like normal things like eating good food, buying decent clothes for yourself. Everything before then was always just negative. Yeah. And I remember just feeling I was always down. I had accepted that this is my life forever. Yeah. So that would be my intention. That's
perfect. Okay, here's the last one. If you could
and I would go back an hour ago and say, don't cuss on the podcast.
Whatever, dude. It's just like, if we don't get a lot of views, we know who to blame. I'm kidding. No, we cuss on all these. If you could prescribe anything to the entire world for 30 days, and they have to do it because you have just so much power. They have to follow your prescription. What would you make everyone do that you think would have a good impact?
Man, all these questions, bro.
Listen, man.
So deep.
We got to end with a banger. I could fill in some keywords while you think. Taylor Swift, Ryan's Toys Reviews, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Impulsive Podcast, David Dobrik. Am I missing anything? Jeffree Star.
Interesting.
Shane Dawson. Makeup. Toy unboxing.
Jeffree Star scares me.
Yeah, me too. That might hit the algorithm.
Yeah.
Jeffree Star scares me. Bam, back on the front page.
You asked me a deep question, I'll give you a deep answer.
Thank you.
It'd probably take me a long time to explain this to all these people, but my intention would be to make them realize that as human beings, we have this messed up ability to be able to play back the past in a movie in our minds. Like that one time my dad beat me up, that one time I got cheated on, and also the ability to foresee the future because we're creative, we can think ahead. Yeah. And we're not realizing that that's what's gonna doom our species. Yeah. Because fear is caused by worrying about the future, but you worry about the future by judging your past, by you replaying your past, which causes regret. Yep. So we're so busy saying, I can't start YouTube. I was cheated on. I'm not confident. Yeah. What if people see that in me? Or what if I quit my job at Chipotle and start a YouTube channel and I can't pay my bills? Yeah. It's just fear and regret. Fear, regret. So I would find a way to explain that we need to live in the now. Yeah. The same way an oak tree does, the same way a cat sits still, waiting for the mouse to pop out of the wall, and it'll just with perfect timing and balance catch the mouse. Yeah. We need to find a way as human beings to just live in the now and disconnect from the past and the future. Yeah. Because I really, really do believe in 100 years, 200 years, society is fucked. Yeah. Because we're so stuck in the past, man.
But don't let that make you fearful.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not live like that's the case. But well, it just seems like a lot of these patterns are like repeating themselves, right? Yeah. And there's so much to be optimistic about as well. But I feel you. It does feel like we're in this like fear. Somehow we have more access to information. Life is actually safer than it has ever been. It's so safe, in fact, that you can just sit around and think of shit to be afraid of, right? And I think all of those like instincts come from we had to be afraid. We had to remember the bad thing and not the good things because that's what's going to keep us alive when there's wild animals chasing us, right? Now we don't. We're worried about how many likes we get and all this bullshit. And so it allows us to be deathly afraid of the future and act out of fear. And it's causing a very strange thing. I do think history shows we always somehow make it through and move on to something better. So I do think that that's what will happen, but it's real easy right now. I feel bad for the people who, when you look back at this era when everything was so chaotic, the people that sort of got lost in it and sacrificed their lives because they were too busy just being scared of what might happen and didn't actually just push forward, right? Life's going to keep going.
Yeah, and I definitely had the idea of starting a YouTube channel way before I actually did start it. Yeah. Because of regret and fear. Regret from the past about the times I've tried businesses, it didn't work, or tried things that didn't work. Yep. And then fear about what if my parents kick me out? What if I can't pay my bills? What if my friends see me on YouTube looking like a fool for getting only 200 views? Yep. And that made me not want to start. And imagine if I hadn't started YouTube for those reasons. Imagine if I wasn't strong enough to actually make the move. I would not be sitting here right now or living this life. Maybe I would still be working at gyms. Yeah. And I feel like there's people watching this video that have been wanting to start YouTube, that haven't been, and there's ones that have not only haven't but never will because of fear, because they're not living the now. By the way, one book that I've been reading about this stuff is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So if I gave away one book name, it would be The Power of Now. Yeah.
And the thing I love about your story is it literally applies, even if you're not thinking about YouTube, you're thinking about starting that business, you're thinking about quitting that job, asking that girl or guy out, breaking up with that girl or guy. Like almost everyone listening to this is currently debating whether or not to do something that they know is right. Yeah. And hopefully this gets them to go do it.
It has
So
to.
if you did it, comment below, help the algorithm, let us know what you did, like and subscribe, and tag some famous YouTubers.
Who should Drama have? Mr. Drama, the best show on YouTube. What guest, and this isn't a question just to ask a question, actually genuinely do tell his team who you want to see next. Because he can just interview 1 million people, but who do you want to see? You've subscribed to his channel for whatever reason, something he's said, someone he's had on the show before has triggered an emotion in you to make you want to subscribe. So now you got to tell him who you want to see next. Or else he's going to bring on some random people off the street.
Weirdo off the street.
And you're not going to want to see that, would you?
No. Look at that, like a true pro. Thank you, man. This was incredible.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you so
Had a
much.
blast.
Guys, if you like that and you want to see more like it, as well as vlogs, other web series, and all the random stuff that I'm doing here on YouTube, don't forget to click that subscribe button. You won't regret it, I promise.